Darn it, Ellsworth. He did it again. He did it again. That's right. James Ellsworth once again becomes a thorn in the side of Dean Ambrose, costing him yet another championship opportunity. We're going to cover all this in a very intriguing main event, plus all the fallout from tables, ladders, and chairs, all in this week's edition of the Smackdown ReBound. Hello everybody, my name is Connor, aka OKayFabe, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, right here to OneWrestling.com or the One Wrestling Video YouTube channel for another edition of the Smackdown ReBound. Of course, I'm your host, Connor, aka OKayFabe, hence the giant green sign behind me, your official OneWrestling.com video reporter for Smackdown Live. Now, guys and gals, before we get into this and before we enjoy the entire coverage and recap what happened on this past edition of Smackdown Live on the Smackdown ReBound, don't forget we always like to hear what you guys have to say, so make sure you leave your thoughts on this week's Smackdown down in the comment section here below, or hit us up on the various social media, including Twitter, Facebook, and everywhere else. Make sure you subscribe if you guys like all this amazing One Wrestling video content, as well as like and share it to the world. Really appreciate you guys doing that, and of course, give the love and the praise and the shout-outs to everyone in the entire OneWrestling.com family. All the links for all their various social media are in the description box below, including Big Ray, PW Hustle, and of course, Big Slam Nation and the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter. Alright guys, TLC was this past Sunday. I know I recapped it with you guys. If you guys want to go check out that video as well too, I highly encourage you guys to do so. But SmackDown really kicked off things interesting this week because of course the question on everyone's mind is why? Why did James Ellsworth go and do exactly what he did and costing Dean Ambrose the WWE World Championship? Well, it was revealed on Talking Smack after on the exclusive WWE Network show that James Ellsworth was doing it because he feels like, well, he has a better opportunity of beating AJ Styles since he's already defeated him 3 times. And don't worry about Dean Ambrose. Me and him go way back. Hopefully back far enough to the point where you could hopefully recover from all this. But, and of course, AJ Styles comes out, of course, basically touting and taunting and saying, hey, you know, obviously some craziness happened. He had a hole in his tights. He had a foot brace on. Don't worry. The foot brace had me a little scared too. Luckily, as far as I know, according to AJ Styles, what he said on SmackDown Live this week is that the foot brace is only going to be on for 1 week's time. Now, of course, this means that James Ellsworth, who has cashed in his championship opportunity, won't be happening tonight. We're assuming it's happening next week on SmackDown Live, but as of this recording, nothing has been confirmed yet. So, of course, AJ is taunting, and James Ellsworth comes out and basically says, and basically talks smack, no pun intended, to AJ Styles, saying he's got his number. I think he's ducking. I think you're ducking me. I think you're doing all these, this, and that. I think that Daniel Bryan is protecting you. Before James Ellsworth can shove a foot any further into his mouth, that's when Dean Ambrose comes in, speaks absolutely 0 words, lands a dirty deeds, and plants it and lays James Ellsworth out cold. Man. Well, at least he doesn't hold a grudge. We can at least safely say that Dean Ambrose doesn't hold a grudge. Although I just never want to make him mad. But we'll get into more on that about what happens with Dean Ambrose later on in the evening. We get a TLC rematch, one of 2 tables, ladders, and chairs rematches as the SmackDown Tag Team titles kick things off with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton taking on the very first SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, Heath Slater and Rhino, in the rematch from the pay-per-view this past Sunday. Very solid opener to the matchup. I'm still getting used to Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton being a tag team. I mean, they've even customized the intros. You see Orton's thing. It's all just new and dark and creepy and weird, and I love everything about it. Of course, Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton retaining the SmackDown Tag Team Championships in a decisive fashion. Heath Slater and Rhino really looking strong, but unfortunately, of course, the Wyatt family just looking a tad bit stronger. This ultimately does make me question exactly what's going to happen with Heath Slater and Rhino now that they've lost the Tag Team Championships. I don't see them going too far as a tag team goes in the future, but we'll see, and I'm going to get more into that once I talk about 2 other matches that involve the Tag Team division as well, too. Very interesting finish, of course, where Bray Wyatt was going to hit the Sister Abigail, but instead he tags in Orton, allowing Orton to hit the RKO and get the win that way. Interesting indeed. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below here. Now, we were supposed to have Natalya versus Carmella one-on-one, but that matchup never happened. Carmella getting on the microphone, blasting once again Natalya as touting her as the one who attacked Nikki Bella at Survivor Series, basically saying she's a liar, just running on for several minutes about this entire ordeal. Ultimately, Natalya, who got a little heated to say the least, stormed the ring and ended up chasing Carmella to the backstage area, the match never actually happening. Natalya ends up stopping short of breath right in front of Nikki Bella. Nikki doesn't say anything, but of course, Natalya is trying to defend herself, saying that, of course, Carmella's lying, but we're not 100% sure on that one. Do we really think the owner of Two Paws attacked Nikki Bella? According to Carmella, it was because of the jealousy factor. The fact that, Total Bellas is being such a huge hit, and Total Divas, they're kind of stealing the spotlight on that as well, too. I mean, Survivor Series was in Canada. I mean, can you really blame a Hart for wanting to be on a show? Maybe not Survivor Series. Maybe that's a bad example. Anyway, I digress. Speaking of the tag teams, earlier on, we had the Ascension against the Hype Bros in a very solid tag team action where the Hype Bros picked up the win over the Ascension. Now, personally, yours truly is actually a fan of the Ascension, and it does kind of concern me a little bit that I feel like the Ascension have been not utilized that fantastic, or at least we haven't seen them getting any major victories as of late. It stinks because it's not because there's a member of the Ascension named Connor. That has nothing to do with, that has everything absolutely to do with it. But is it very interesting that the Hype Bros get another win, and also very interesting that the commentators during this entire matchup were hinting, or at least possibly alluding the fact that maybe the Hype Bros might be the next one to challenge the Wyatt family for the tag team championships. As I was alluding to earlier, I don't think Heath Slater and Rhino will see too much as a tag team anymore. I could be mistaken, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think now is the time to really utilize the depth of that tag team division, and maybe the Hype Bros are indeed the next ones in line to dethrone the Wyatts, although it's very interesting and very intriguing that a tag team that we wouldn't have seen two teams rather, Heath Slater and Rhino and Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. It's very bizarre tag teams to say the least, but it does make me curious as to who exactly is going to be the ones to ultimately dethrone the Wyatts, especially with the possibility of Randy Orton possibly turning on Bray, but who knows at this point. But this has definitely got my interest peaked, that's for sure. Now, moving on things real quickly here, we did have a Miz TV segment with Dean Ambrose. Of course, the segment didn't last too long, as Miz was trying to basically, stir some stuff up with Dean Ambrose about, of course, what happened at TLC with James Ellsworth, costing him the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Dean, not too keenly about it, and is about to punch Miz in his throat, but ultimately, Miz decides to give an award. He gives him a participation award. I really hope this is a thing, folks. I really, really do. I hope this keeps on going. A lot of people compared it to the List of Jericho. No. This is not the List of Jericho 2.0. I'm sorry, folks. This is something completely and utterly different. Ish. Kinda, sort of. Anyway, as things look like we're about to get even more heated, Daniel Bryan decided, hey, guess what? Let's make ourselves the main event. We've got Miz versus Dean Ambrose one-on-one, the crowd chanting yes to that, and then Daniel Bryan going, wait, why are you chanting yes? Is it because you want an Intercontinental Championship match? Why not? Miz versus Dean Ambrose in the main event for the Intercontinental Championship. Definitely an intriguing twist, to say the least, but makes a hell of a main event for this week's SmackDown. Back to TLC real quick. We did have another rematch between Kalisto and Baron Corbin. These two have put on amazing matches every single time. I mentioned this in the TLC review that I thought the chairs matchup was very underrated. I think it was a very, very well done matchup. Typically, chairs matches don't get a lot of, let's just say positive reviews, but I think that the chairs matchup was one of the better matches of the evening, and seeing Kalisto go one-on-one with Baron Corbin really makes me a big fan of Baron Corbin. Not that I ever wasn't not a fan of Baron Corbin, but really made me appreciate his work even more, and I think I might have alluded to this in the TLC review as well, too. It's nice to see a clash of styles. You have a big heavyweight in Baron Corbin, and also a smaller cruiserweight style in Kalisto. Fantastic matchup between the two. Of course, Baron Corbin ultimately getting the win. Once again, Baron Corbin doing an interview backstage alluding to the fact that maybe, just maybe, we might be seeing him in the main event scene really, really soon. Es muy bueno. Alright, we move on. Chad Gable going one-on-one with Tyler Breeze after some intriguing backstage police. I don't want to say police like shenanigans. Is that the right We want to use that word? All right, let's use that word. Police shenanigans between the Fashion Police and American Alpha. Chad Gable, really haven't had a chance to see too much of his single stuff, especially in NXT, but this just makes me hopeful for American Alpha in the long run. And going back to the tag team discussion I was talking about earlier, I think that the tag team division is extremely, extremely deep on SmackDown. And now that I think that, we did see a changing of the guard, of course, with the Wyatt family now taking over as the tag team champions, really has got me intriguing to see what exactly sort of shuffling around is going to be. We didn't see the Usos at TLC, and of course we didn't see the Usos this week on SmackDown either. So with American Alpha kind of taking the forefront and also the Hype Bros on that end as well too, it's got me thinking in very kind of gears turning as far as what exactly they're going to go with next. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think though. Here in the comments, Twitter, Facebook, you guys know all that dealio. We were supposed to have a SmackDown Women's Championship celebration with Alexa Bliss, the new SmackDown Women's Champion. But it was kind of cut short a little bit, unfortunately, due to the first champion, Becky Lynch, interfering and basically wanting a rematch right there, right now. Bliss, of course, not wanting anything to do with it and eventually backs away slowly. I definitely see a final matchup between the two of these women going forth for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Obviously, this feud, this rivalry is definitely not over yet. I think that we will I think if I was a betting man, I'd say we'd probably see maybe a championship opportunity right before the new year. Because remember, SmackDown will not be on pay-per-view again until the Royal Rumble, which I believe is January 20th, if my math is correct, which is a good solid 6 weeks away. So we got a little time. I say we give the SmackDown fans some love and give them a championship match. Speaking of championship match, see, I love the little segues I just do here. They just really kind of... I'm totally writing these. Intercontinental Championship main event, Miz versus Dean Ambrose. These two absolutely tore it up between the two. I legitimately thought Dean Ambrose was going to walk out as the Intercontinental Champion. I thought I could have put money down, could hard-earned cash down on the fact that the Lunatic Fringe was going to walk out as the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, Miz wasn't prepared. There's a lot of... Dean Ambrose just looked like he was on top of his game at this matchup. And, of course, Maurice's interferences didn't quite work so well. Now, did they? Well, they didn't... until someone tried to fix them, and that was, of course, James Ellsworth. Let me explain. Maurice pushing Dean Ambrose off of the top turnbuckle, allowing Miz to hit a signature high kick that usually see Daniel Bryan, but only gets a 2 count, as Dean Ambrose is actually doing a roll-up maneuver. James Ellsworth comes out arguing that Maurice was the one who did this to Dean Ambrose and arguing at the referee. So the referee didn't see the pinfall. He hits a 2 count. And then, of course, Dean, seeing James Ellsworth, gets infuriated, only to be distracted long enough for Miz to hit the skull-crushing finale, and thus Miz retaining the Intercontinental Championship over Dean Ambrose. And James Ellsworth runs away, as I definitely think he should have. Oh boy. So let me just make this completely clear. James Ellsworth has cost Dean Ambrose both the WWE World Heavyweight and the Intercontinental Championship in a matter of 48 hours. Oh, I'd be mad too. I'd be livid. I'd be infuriated. And I'm very scared and concerned for the life of James Ellsworth. Now, overall, the SmackDown was a very solid show. Obviously, we're coming off of the heels of TLC, a lot of rematches. We saw 2 of them with the tag team titles in Baron Corbin and Kalisto. The women's divisions got me a little intrigued. I'm not sure exactly, was a little upset that we didn't see more action from the women, but obviously we see a rematch in the future with Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch, and of course, Nikki and Natalya definitely seem to have things kind of going their way too. I'm curious where Carmella is going to fit into all of this. I think they could definitely go a little further with this. My big thing, of course, is mentioning the tag team division. I think the tag team division is definitely on the verge of a reshuffle, especially with the Wyatts now winning the championships, as I've alluded to before. I really don't see Heath Slater and Rhino sticking around as a tag team because they were such an unpredictable team in the first place. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but we'll see how things go. I'm curious to see what's going to go with that direction as far as that goes. I think Baron Corbin is on track to becoming a main event star very, very soon. They've definitely been showcasing him, and he's been showcasing a lot of his abilities and highlights. Granted, it's only been with Kalisto so far, but you put him in a top-tier program, I think we're going to see some very big things from from Baron Corbin. Now, again, as of this recording, nothing has been made as far as James Ellsworth's championship opportunity, and as far as AJ Styles' injury is concerned, as far as we know, it's only for this past week, so we're assuming that we're probably going to see that championship match between James Ellsworth and AJ Styles happen next week on SmackDown, which I'm kind of curious to see, considering that, you know, James Ellsworth has cost Dean Ambrose 2 championship opportunities. I'm sweating for him right now. I really am. Like, the perspirations is off my head. I'm sweating for James Ellsworth. And I think that's a great way to end this segment right here and now. Anyway, guys, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of this week's SmackDown? Did you give it a thumbs up, thumbs down? I want to know what you guys have to say about this week's SmackDown. Let me know down here in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter at OKayFabeRWP. That's OKayFabeRWP, a new Twitter handle. So make sure you follow me and give me the love, and I'll make sure to tweet with you guys during Raw, SmackDown, and all the other pay-per-views. And don't forget to head over to the YouTube channel. I do my own podcast as well, too, the Random Wrestling Podcast, which I do once a week. So if you guys want to check it out, too, much love would be appreciated as well, too. Don't forget to spread the love to everyone in the OneWrestling.com family. All the links for all their social media. Big Slam, Bailey Ray, Big Ray, of course, legendary Bill Apter. All the links are down in the description box there as well, too. If you guys haven't subscribed to One Wrestling Video already, what are you guys waiting for? Subscribe button. It's free. You get all this awesome content. You know you want to. You know you want to. Hit that like button if you guys like these videos and like the SmackDown Rebound. And, of course, share this video all over social media. Thank you guys again for watching. I appreciate the continued love and support. We will see you guys next week on the SmackDown Rebound, which should be a very interesting show, to say the least. Thank you guys again, and until next time, to quote the legendary and the iconic Mr. Bill Apter, we will see you at the matches.